Hey everyone, thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. I appreciate those of you who left comments on the last video, who subscribed. That really helps move this channel along and create the community that I'm hoping to create while we're all in this together as midlife climbers and wanting to just climb our hardest and our best. It's kind of fun to hear from some of you out there and the things that you are doing. So today is going to be all about protein and how to get the protein in. You all know and have heard why protein is important. It's all over the place. So we're not talking about that. We understand the why. Super important, especially into midlife, that we are getting in a daily dose of protein that is optimal for us. So I'm going to, in this video, show you how I do it so that you can just use it as a template. It's easy. It's something that you can just practice and you're going to get better and better at. So you don't even need to be thinking about it. I hear from clients all the time that the amount of protein optimally that they're trying to get in, that it's really difficult to do. And I understand that, but I have some great tips and tricks for you to figure out how to do it. And if you listen through to the end, I'm going to give you something that can be really practical, something that you could even print out and be able to use as a template to help you move into the space to make getting in your amount of protein a lot easier. So stay to the end so you can get that. So one of the first things is to really understand that my belief, and again, this is from lots of research and lots of years, but again, it's just my opinion based on those things, is that looking at lean protein throughout your day is probably really important. Those lean protein sources are what's going to get us the amount of protein that we need on a daily basis without increasing our caloric load. And if you are a midlife athlete, midlife climber, you understand that for many of us, keeping weight off and maintaining a weight that we want can be a little difficult as we age. Different things just shift and change. And getting in that optimal amount of protein becomes so important without overdoing the caloric load. So lean protein is really a key for that. Also, I want to just encourage you to think of a specific formula to use. So one of the ones that I believe is most optimal for midlife athletes is going to be 1 gram of protein per pound of optimal body weight. So if you are at your optimal body weight, then it's just 1 gram per pound. So if you're at 120, it's 120 grams per day. If you're at 150 pounds, you're at your optimal weight, it's 150 grams per day. If you're not at optimal body weight, if you're a little overweight, then you would look at what is my optimal body weight, and that would be the amount of protein that you are shooting for per day. Let's talk about the 4 rules to make this really easy. Rule number 1, you want to get 40 to 50 grams at your first meal. So if you're someone who's trying to get in 120 grams, you're going to look at maybe around 40 grams at your first meal. If you're someone who's looking at getting in 200 grams per day, then you want to look at maybe increasing that to 50 to 60 grams. But the idea is to get it in right away. You want to front load your protein. So if you wait, hi Zola, if you wait until dinner, you are going to most likely undereat the amount of protein that would be optimal for you. So you want to think about at breakfast, how are you going to get in that 30 to 50 grams? So if I'm looking at 40 grams of protein, which is what I try to get in every morning, you may be looking at things like 2 cups of Greek yogurt along with maybe an egg or 2 eggs with a whole bunch of egg whites to add in that protein. I might be looking at a protein smoothie with some whey protein. You're going to see what I do for breakfast here in a minute. Okay, I'm going to show you how to make the collagen coffee that I make. This is the way that I start out my morning with a hit of protein right away, about 10 to 15 grams if you're using a scoop of collagen. So what you want to do is you want to put your scoop of collagen into your coffee mug first. And this is because if you've ever had some coffee and then tried to put a scoop into the coffee and stirred it up, a lot of times it will chunk up and it kind of gets this gross texture. But if you put the collagen in first and pour your coffee over, it melts and it makes this lovely cup of coffee. I use a pour over. You don't obviously need to, just have your cup of coffee and pour it over the collagen, and that's your collagen coffee. So one thing to remember is that you want to use a collagen that has vitamin C added to it, because that makes the collagen more absorbable. So if you're using collagen, you just want to make sure you take some vitamin C with it, or the formulation has some vitamin C in it. Another caveat, collagen is not a complete protein. So if you want your collagen coffee to count as your daily protein, you need to make sure you're adding in essential amino acids, or you have a brand that has essential amino acids added in to the collagen. So those are just two things you want to remember. You want to take it with vitamin C, and you want to make sure there are essential amino acids added into it, or add your own into the collagen, so you can count it as towards your daily protein goals. Here I'm going to show you what I make every single day. First thing that I eat, it's sort of my first breakfast, because I often have two breakfasts. One dose of protein before I'm going to work out, or even on rest days, this is what I have. And then I usually have something right after working out, another hit of protein. But I do not like protein shakes. I'm cold very often, so protein shakes to me are too cold. And so I like a warm breakfast in the morning. But you could do a protein shake instead of this. But how I get going is really with 2 scoops of a very high quality protein. Well, I'm doing a vegan protein right now because whey isn't working on my stomach so well. But I think whey is probably the better, more digestible protein powder to use if your stomach does well with it. So 2 scoops of that, that's usually going to give you around 40 grams of protein. And then I do 100 grams blueberries. And then I'm also, and I'll do a video on this at some point, but especially for those of us in perimenopause and menopause, you really want, I believe, after reading the research, a fiber in your daily diet. So I add in a tablespoon of chia seeds, which has some really good healthy fat in it, and also 4 grams of protein. So that's another 4 grams right there. And then I add in coconut flakes, which makes it taste delicious. I don't weigh this, maybe about 2 tablespoons. That's also some good fat and fiber in there, and also just gives this mix a little bit of some texture, which makes it taste really good. So I do all that, and then I'm just going to add water to this and stir it up to make this pasty mix. And then I'm going to microwave it for about 45 seconds and to a minute, just to get it warm. And it's sort of like eating this warm bowl of oatmeal. I really enjoy it. So right there is 40 grams. I got another 15 from my collagen coffee. So I'm at 55 grams already, and this is usually by 8 a.m. You want to have that huge chunk of protein right away in the morning. It makes it so much easier. It's sort of like starting your day out with a couple glasses of water. It makes getting your water intake so much easier throughout the day. So you want to front load that protein. Build your meals around protein first. So whatever you are looking at eating, you always want to think about, what is my protein source first? Even snacks, what's the protein going to be within that snack? So again, if you're getting 40 grams at breakfast or 60 grams, depending again on what your goals are for the day, then I'm looking at things like I want to get in another 30 grams at lunch, another 30 grams at dinner, and maybe 20 grams for a snack. So you really want to break down what you're looking at in regards for protein each meal, and think about your meal planning and what you're going to eat, your snacks. Base it around protein first. And I'm going to give you some examples of protein snacks and easy to grab protein that you can use as well. Rule number 3, pre-decide your protein. And what I mean by that is plan for it. Make the decision ahead of time. We all get a ton of decision fatigue. So in the moment, if we're hungry or we need to eat something, all of us are going to do this. We're just going to grab whatever we can. You really want to pre-decide what you're going to have that next day or for the week or whatever it is. It reduces tons of decision fatigue. It makes this so much simpler and easier. Willpower doesn't work at all. You really want to just be planned and prepared. That is what works. I've been doing this for 20 plus years. And again, willpower is just not a thing around this stuff. You just really want to plan and be prepared for it. One of the tricks that I use is to just always keep a couple protein sources with you. So I've got turkey jerky sticks at the office. I have some poached salmon that I keep at the office. I keep those things, not the poached salmon, but I do keep the jerky sticks and a real high quality protein bar in my car, I've got bunches of them, right? So if I'm ever in this bind where something's going on during the day and I'm hungry and I need something to eat, I need a snack, whatever, I just have them at the ready. I have them with me. Rule number 4, make it automatic. You want to make getting in your daily protein as easy as possible. So think about having the same weekday breakfast. You're just going to have the same breakfast for every day of the week, well, or at least 5 days a week. Maybe your weekends are a little bit different, but you want to just have one breakfast that is the same and that you can just have every single morning. If you're someone who gets bored with the same food, you could rotate it. One breakfast one day, another breakfast another day, but understand how many grams of protein. Build your breakfast around 40 to 60 grams of protein. Understand what those look like. Buy for those things, have them ready to go, and just have them every single day. It makes it so much easier. And then have the same post-workout shake. That's another way that you can do this to just make it easy. And then rotate your meals. Just think about maybe having 3 meals that contain 30, 40, 50 grams of protein, whatever you need for your goals. Think about 3 meals and just rotate those throughout the week. There is no need to reinvent all these crazy, amazing, different meals every single night. And by the way, just a little side note, if you have trouble with this, if you're like, no, I need something different every single day for food, that's something to consider, that there might be some emotional ties to food. And that might be something to look at psychologically. And I've got there's a playlist on this channel actually of my older podcast that I was doing that talks about how to break free from food and emotional eating and those sort of things, stress eating. So that would be where I would send you for that. But if you're not in that space, then understanding you can eat the same 3 meals all week long, dinner, lunch, whatever, and that's just fine. This whole idea of just removing decision fatigue. If we, again, are having to decide every single day what we're going to have to eat, how do I make it fit the amount of protein I need? There's just no way we're going to end up doing that because it's so exhausting to make those decisions every single day. So we're really looking at trying to streamline this to make it as easy as possible. You do not need to be perfect here. The idea is to have an intent of what you're trying to get in on a daily basis and having a plan to make it as easy as possible, but it does not need to be perfect. After age 40, it really does require intention. Our nutrition does. And protein is so important for that muscle maintenance, even building muscle. We need it for those things. And that's so important for our longevity in our sport and just in life in general. It really is going to support our climbing, even hiking to the crag or to the bouldering field, our lifting. Remember, structure beats motivation. And keep in mind, you don't have to be perfect. You just have to have some intention around this. I really appreciate you watching and listening. If you subscribe and comment in the comments, I will send you my protein cheat sheet. It's just a list of all lean proteins, how much is in a certain amount, a portion, and it just makes it really easy and simple to plan your week, to plan your daily protein goals. I really appreciate you all watching and being here. We are all gonna stay strong and climb harder together.